I think the problem often is that we are taking things too deep and too close to our heart, and they were not like to us. But I think with Germans, it depends.
Today we have a very special guest on the Pommes box. It's Carina. Carina is originally from Ukraine and she's a German teacher and translator with more than 5 years of teaching experience. She is also the creator behind the Instagram page deutschsucht.german, where she shares fun, clear, and super helpful content for German learners. What's really cool is that Karina has also lived in the USA and Poland. She's currently living in the USA, bringing a truly international perspective to German learning. She holds a master degree in German philology. She lived in beautiful Bavaria in the past, and this is my favorite part. She is absolutely obsessed with teaching and creating videos that make German easier and more enjoyable for everyone. So, Karina, we are really excited to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really, really excited also. Ich
Yes.
bin gespannt. Yeah, so on my website you can find an information about me, who I am, I studied, which languages I speak, and also you can also find already courses which will start in January 2026. It will be the beginning of the January, so you can find everything there. It will be information about the topics we will learn during the course, the duration of the course, price, and you can already buy and pay for the course there, right?
Okay, awesome. Yes, so let's start. And apart from that, we didn't introduce ourselves. So I'm Sachin, and this is Shilpa. And I've been living in Germany for past 7 to 8 years, and I can speak C1 level German.
And it's been like 2 years I'm in German and I speak A level German.
Amazing. So let's get directly into the show.
So, Karina, we know that you are obsessed with German language. It's your passion to teach German. So, is there any moment that sparked that obsession? And was there any particular point you decided, like, hey, teaching German is my thing?
So I love telling this story. When it was the end of the high school, I wanted to be a lawyer or a journalist because it was very popular. But 2 years, like the last 2 years in the high school, we started to learn German, and the teacher, she really loved the language, and she inspired to come, like to join to learn German. And I'm like, okay, I want to do that, but I did not have enough time to learn German because I wanted to prepare like for exams for becoming a lawyer or a journalist. So I did not like, I just knew like couple words I liked. It was Flugzeug, Nachtigall, and also Ich bin du bist. I really loved it. I was really good in it, but I didn't have like time for learning. But the year I ended up my school, it was European Championship soccer, 2016. And I really loved how German played football. And after that, I watched a couple interviews with them. And when I watched it, because I knew a little bit German, so I can listen to the interview. And when I listened to this interview, I was like, I want to sit there and to translate it. And that's why I decided to study German philology. So, and I never actually wanted to be a teacher because for me, a teacher was someone who has power upon you. That's what I felt when I was growing up. And unfortunately, a lot of people have this experience. So but I had also good teachers. I don't want to say something like really bad, but like it was in my head, so what I was thinking about like teachers. And for me, the teacher should be someone who gives wings. And at the moment, after I had also exchange studies in Germany, and after that, like my German really improved. And because I went this way through, I decided I want to bring it to other people. So this was the moment that I decided I want to teach German, even if I never wanted to be a teacher. Really, I did not. Yeah, but once I started and I saw how passionate I am about it, And it wasn't a problem for me to repeat to my students like 10 times, 20 times the same thing. I was really like, patient about it. It was fine. And at the moment I understood, it's like I am probably good at it and it doesn't make me nervous. And I also saw the progress of my students, and it really gave me as a teacher wings, because they could randomly write me, "Oh, Carina, I was today in the cafe and I talked to the guy there in German. Can you imagine?" I'm like, yeah, I can. I know, because we talk in our lessons. And for me, it was really, really inspiring. And I understood I want to do it more and more. And it's just like, there are things you just feel in your heart. You just feel that you want to do it. And that like happened to me with German, teaching German. Yeah.
Amazing. That's a nice story that you have.
Yeah.
You meant to say that it was an inspiration when you were in Ukraine, right? The first time in high school. Yes.
Yeah. 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 Right.
Okay. And and we have never seen a teacher before who have like studied deeply in this language, Masters of Philology.
Oh, really?
German, right? Is it or about German?
So
Can you
German.
do Master of Philology in different languages or on different languages like German, Spanish? Is it all possible? Because we
No,
don't
so
know
it was
anything
it.
about
It was
degree.
all the time, like it was all the time German philologist. So I
Okay.
studied like German like all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I studied it first in Ukraine 2 years, but then I got scholarship in Poland, and I went to Poland and I started from the first years of studies there, like my bachelor I studied there. So I did not finish my studies in Ukraine because I got scholarship in Poland,
Okay.
and it was a big chance, so I used it and it was amazing. And because I studied in like in Poland, they supported me a lot to take a year in Germany, like Erasmus exchange studies. That's why I went there, and I went to Bavaria, and it's one of the beautiful things that happened to me in my life.
Thanks for sharing that piece of information. As you also mentioned that you did your master's in on German philology. Yes, what is one beautiful thing, or what was a fascinating fact about the German language that you didn't know before? Was there something like that?
So what I really loved in German, that it's very structured comparing to other languages. A lot of people say no, I understand it, there are a lot of exceptions, but comparing to my language, Ukrainian, it's very structured, logical. There are a lot of rules. Like my language is beautiful, definitely, but I mean it's harder to learn than German. Because in German, the verb goes to the second place when you have two verbs. One is on the second place, the other one is at the end. So it's weird, it's hard, but I think it all taught me to be structured in my life. I think so. And I love that, for example, a lot of people are, and me also, I was afraid of long German words. But once you start to read this word, you see like it's like couple words which made a family to be one word. So, and you can recognize it, and because of that you can create your new words, let's say. Because even my page Deutsch sucht, it's a lot of people who are like in their like elementary or beginner level, they think it's like German is seeking, like looking for something, because suchen in German it's to look for,
Right.
and Deutsch sucht it's like it is looking for. That's how we conjugate it. So, but no, it's German, and Sucht, it's addiction, but addiction in a good way, because I'm passionate about the language, right? And it's my addiction, because at some point I also saw that, for example, when I'm talking to people in my language, in Ukrainian or in English, there are like very like common phrases you say, or like phrases, structures, and I'm like, oh, how would I say it in German? Yeah, and all the time I'm like going to look for that, and I understood that I'm addicted to it. I cannot like do something without thinking about German. That's why it's like addiction. Yeah, but in a good way.
Okay. But one thing, like a lot of people doesn't know what philology is. So can
Yeah.
you also tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So philology is like linguistics. So when you go and you study computer science, it's a language science, let's say. So you are learning the language, the history of language, how like morphology and everything, phonology, like all
Right.
these, definitions which come there. So how, for example, when I teach German, we usually say like how to pronounce it, but there is like a deeper meaning of that. So we are learning where the sounds, comes up and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So, or yeah, and or for example, I love what I really love. It's etymology. I hope I pronounce it right in English. So
Correct.
etymology, probably it's etymology. So it means, so for example, you have a word and you are studying what was this word before, the history of the word, or in how many contexts, like in which context you can use the word. So, for example, Wasser in German, das Wasser,
What?
water, it was before. There is, sorry guys for telling you this stuff, maybe it's overwhelming you, but it's really a cool thing. Before, like we see German as we see it now, it was zweite Lautverschiebung. It means like when vowels and consonants changed, and before it was Vata, and it was very similar to English. And we, for example, we studied how similar like some German words are to English words. Sorry, I hope I didn't overwhelm someone with it, but I love it because when you, for example, also when you get to know a person, your wife, for example, right? So you get to know like her. Now you see her as she is, right? But she has a history. Like the person you get to know has a history. The same with the language, right? There is a point it like was born and how it
Right.
developed.
Right. Right.
So
Amazing. Good to hear that. Didn't know this.
We have seen that many people like after like say learning till B1, further proceeding becomes a little complicated and tougher, or sometimes they also stop learning further. So
yeah.
what's one mindset that can help them get over the intermediate plateau?
I think this level of A2 and B1, it's one of the hardest one because it's already the middle. You feel like you already have a knowledge, but you still don't feel like you're fluent, and it makes you stressed, right? Because you have something to tell, you can tell, and you feel like kind of free at one point, but at the other point you feel like you have deeper thoughts, you want to say more, and you feel like a roboter, and that you like something is stopping you. And I think it's just a moment like when you just in your head you just need to build your mentality that you should just stay in it, like to get through, just because I am also a runner, so I have the same, like when I prepared for the half marathon I had the same. At some point it seems to you it's so like hard, no I won't do it, but you just need to go through it, like you should just push yourself, or just you should tell people that you need support, that they can support you in it. And also, for example, when we look at the people who, for example, for me, if I look at someone who speaks Ukrainian, right? And that person doesn't speak all the time correctly or perfect, right? But for me, I admire like this person because this person already like went through a lot of stuff, knows a lot, and giving a lot of efforts to talk. So I think it's just a moment where you can like, I don't know, stay in it. And also I think it's very important to motivate yourself all the time, to see the goal, where you're going. Because when you don't have a goal, like, you don't have structure. When you don't have structure, you don't know what you're doing with it. Like, oh, I don't need it. And that's why it's really very easy to give up. But when you know your goal, when you like build a structure, and when you get enough support, first of all, you as a person who support yourself, right? It's because we are always pointing on ourselves, I am not good in it, I am not good in it. But sometimes it's really important like to say to yourself, hey, look, I learned it, I know it, I can say it, like to point on the things you are already good like in, as you Shilpa said. So you already like you know like some stuff, and like you made already steps even to this A2 level, right? So you already learned something, and it's already from the whole picture, it's a big part, right?
So keep pushing, make gold. This is the
Right.
way to break your intermediate plateau.
Yeah, and support yourself and ask for support. It's really very important. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And you create a lot of videos or material content in Instagram, right? So do you have like any teaching principle that you use in your videos to make German language very effective?
Yeah, so it's also if you go back also to the last question and this one, it's like the same for me. If you see people who create content on Instagram, they have the same what you have with the language. At some point they want to give up. They don't have like enough energy, and time to make videos, to post it, But everything in life it's structure, and you should keep pushing and to go to your goal, to see the goal you want to achieve. So with these videos also, because I decided to start this page, Instagram page for international students in English, and I decided to start it from the very beginning, like from scratch, because I have also my page for Ukrainians, and it's kind of B1, B2 level. It's already like intermediate. But here, because I know that it's for beginners, so I decided like to create my contact and embrace all the parts of learning the language. So it's grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and that's how I create it. So I see what is now important. For example, last video was about conjugating verbs,
Right.
right? So, and next time I want to give like how you conjugate Ausnahmen, exceptions. Yeah, and I even created free PDF so people can download it and also learn it and practice it. Yeah.
That's cool.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes. So you're looking at the language as a whole rather than focusing on one particular thing, right?
Because it is like that. You cannot it's like our whole body. You need your legs to walk, you need your hands like to cook,
Right.
and how the language also
Right.
functions.
Karina, the thing is what happens to people like me is, I already did mention this, like when we speak to Germans here, they speak very fast or very quick. Yeah. So what happens is, for people like me, I would be grabbing the words there, like what is this word? What did he tell the next word and things like that. By then, they would have completed the entire sentence, and I would have lost the meaning or the tone of what they wanted to say, the expression or the tone of the sentence. And since that we know you have worked as a translator, do you have some tips for us to, grab the word as well as try to get the tone what they meant to speak? Is there any way we can try to improve?
Yeah, so I think it was also a hard part for me because when I came, I told you I went to Germany for exchange studies to Bavaria, and like I came and I already had B2 level, and I studied Germany deeper. We did a lot of grammar, and I came there and I started to talk to people, and they're like, what? Like they don't understand me, I don't understand them. Even some people, it was interesting because I met a lot of people who spoke dialect, but not all of them, right? And for me it was so painful because I'm like, and they switched to English, and I'm like, I know German, I can speak German. And it really was like, really, it was a frustrating moment for me because I feel like, what's wrong? Like, I do know, I felt really like good in German, but once I came to Germany, I understood it's that the language I learned, it's the same language, but I did not like, that's why I told that we should embrace the language from like all parts. Like listening is also, it's a very important part. So what I understood as a teacher, for example, when I start learning the language with my students, I always do listening. So but it's not passive listening when you like just listen and you should like choose, is it A, is it B, because it's a passive listening. You just listen and you are concentrating on a very like on the main like things, and it's important. It's really important task. But what I started to do with my students, it's we do that, and after that we have active listening. It means we listen again the same task, and I stop like every sentence. I stop, and my students should repeat this sentence, because and repeat, and because when we listen to it, not always we understand like every word, and we should not actually, right? But when we do it from the other side, from this active listening, it means my brain is like training to understand like native speakers. I am like repeating the intonation. Then also when we repeat the sentence in this task, then we also analyze grammar in there, what was said, why it was said like that, the words which were said. And I really love that modern books, like the listening in modern books is very native. It's not like it was before when I learned, very robotic. Hallo, ich heiße, ha, ha, ha. They use a lot of really like, das ist doch toll, like doch, like, and from A1 you already know like doch, that you can use this ja, doch,
Yeah.
nein, na und so weiter. So it's very important like to do that, and I give it also as a home task. For example, I love Easy German, really it's my like I love Easy German channel, and I did the same. For example, I repeated what they said. I mean native speakers, the intonation, and that's how you like trying to dig deeper in the language. And also, it's very important to embrace yourself with a language. For example, while you are cleaning up your room, for example, you can listen to German music, to German podcasts. It's not important that you understand like the whole thing, or even like 50%. Sometimes we don't understand. The task is just to hear the intonation, and
That
that's why
passive
then
listening, right?
yeah, passive listening also. So active listening, passive listening, and you should combine it. And you should make it like a part of your daily life. Because when we learned our native language, we did not learn grammar in the beginning. We just listened to it from our parents, from the society we grew up in, right? And it was all the time in there. And for example, when I taught at, you see these pictures, when I taught at German international school, and I worked with really small kids, they were between 3 and 5, and we talked to them only German. And there were like children who came to school from non-speaking, I saw the progress in a half year, because the kid from Monday till Friday, from morning till evening, the kid is at school where it's spoken German. You read German, you listen to German all the time. And that's why this child could learn the language so quickly, right? Yeah.
That's a beautiful tip actually. Even from my side, like still now I have done only passive listening, as you mentioned, like for the just read a para, try to answer what did you hear and things. But yeah, the other side is more interesting and much needed, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes,
so
for sure.
much.
And
Yeah, sure.
also the repetition, right? You said that you have to repeat what they say, which would also help.
Yeah. So you should definitely repeat. So it's very important, like to repeat after what was said. For example, sometimes like I'm here now in the U.S. and what I understood, like first year I'm here a year and a couple months, and first year I had Ukrainian at home because I live with my Ukrainian friend. I had German at school where I worked because like mostly a lot of people who worked there, they were German, and we spoke German as teachers between. And I understood that I don't speak English that much. And when I started to speak English in like when I met like my English friends, it was kind of it was so I struggled with it even if I already had like B2 level in English. It was really hard sometimes because I did not do it actively. Even if I was in the society with English, you should do work from yourself. And what I started to do sometimes, because I understood that sometimes they, because I don't feel confident, it's also a mental thing. To make people understand you, you should feel confident. And when you don't know how to pronounce things, you definitely don't feel that, right? And what I started to do when I'm in, I don't know, in the meeting with where we speak English, and I'm listening to people speaking, in my head, I just don't do it out loud, but I
Okay.
repeat what they said. And I see how helpful it is because when you repeat after what was said by native, your brain is first training, and these phrases or structures, grammar structures, are not, I have always this word in German, fremd, it's uh, are not
For it.
foreign for you. Yeah. So these structures are not foreign for you anymore because your brain already knows it. I
Right.
know, like, it's common for it. So that's why we do it. And for example, it's an amazing also task. When I learned English at school, I had also extra lessons from my teacher. I went to I took classes from one teacher. And what we did, we read, for example, a story from the book. It was actually a whole story for the whole book, but we, for example, just had a part of it. We read a part of it, and after that, she told me that I should write a retelling of it, like to write the same but in other words. Yeah, I did it. Then she corrected me, and then I learned it by heart, and I needed to to tell it to her without looking at it, how I retelled it. So, and what how it helped me, it I had already, my brain already knew structures, that like special structures in English. Also, I also learned grammar that way. And for example, when I wanted to say or to write something wrong, or I heard someone saying something wrong, my brain already was like signalizing it, like already told me, no, it's wrong, because it already knew that it should be said like that. So it's also an important thing when you're learning the language.
Good. Thanks for sharing that activity also.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm still curious about when you came to Bavaria and you didn't understand the accent. How did you survive and how did you overcome that?
So the thing with me is that I love to learn, and everywhere I am, I love like to integrate in it. And I started to learn the dialect. I started to follow different pages where they speak Bavarian or where they teach Bavarian. And actually, my bachelor, I wrote about Bavaria and Bavarian dialect. And because I'm also a person who analyzes a lot, I remember there was, I biked a lot in Bavaria. I bought a bike for 50 euros, and I biked a lot. And like, because it's so beautiful, you just cannot stay at home. And that's what I did. And I remember I saw a house, and instead of the name of, there was a shield in German. It's called like,
Nameplate, right?
yeah,
Name board, right?
nameplate, yeah. So instead of an address, it was written Do bin Ida Hoam.
Okay.
And Do bin Ida Hoam. So it means here I am daheim. Da bin I daheim. Ich
Okay, okay.
daheim.
Okay.
So do, it's da. What you say in German, da. Da is also like here. You can say here, or da. So, and I understood, like, I analyzed and I understood that instead of a, they use or in Bavarian. Or, for example, instead of ich, they say I. And that's like, and the more I read, also, because you should also, it's interesting that if you're not interested in it, you won't learn it because you don't, like, you're not interested in it, you don't need it. You have already, like, evolved between you and the material you want, you need to learn.
I
Yeah.
guess probably it was easy for you as well because You did your bachelor's, and you are so much interested in the language. It
Yeah.
became easy, probably,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure. But it was sometimes, for example, I think everyone has a situation when you talk to someone, even if they don't speak dialect, when they
Mhm.
speak English or German, and you're just, like saying, aha, and at some point you think they say something funny and you start to laugh, ha 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 ha. And they don't understand why you're laughing because they ask you a question and you did not
Right.
get it. I had the same with German, also with Bavarian dialect,
Okay.
because I lived in a dormitory and I had a Hausmeister, and
Right.
he was very Bavarian. And
Okay.
I came up to him and I told him, and he loves mountains, and he told
Mhm.
me about it. And I
Mhm.
told him how passionate I am about mountains, that I want to go in die Berge. And
Mhm.
I told him, I was in the mountains. And he's like, Du warst in den Bergen bei den sieben Zwergen? And I was like, I just laughed. And he asked me, like, do you know what it means? And I'm like, I don't really like I didn't understand the whole like thing. Is
Right.
it like a language or what's that, right? And he asked me, like he told me, you were in
Mhm.
den Bergen, in the mountains, bei den sieben Zwergen,
Mhm.
like visiting seven Zwergen, it's, I don't know it in English, sorry
I
guys.
don't know. Swacken, I am also lost.
Yeah, so they have, it's actually, it's very German cultural thing, because in the mountains
Mhm.
there are a lot of stories. They have dwarf,
Okay.
dwarf,
Dwarfs.
dwarf.
Mhm.
You, I didn't know it in English. You see, I'm learning with you guys. So they have a lot of stories actually, that there are dwarfs,
Okay. Okay.
Zwergen, in the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess these kind of things are hard, right? Because when a native speaker says something deep in the language or in the culture, then
yeah,
as a beginner or being introduced to the language, you are totally lost.
right. Yeah, and they speak also. I think Bavarian people, they have like a deeper voice, especially men, when they speak. They even Hochdeutsch.
Right.
When they speak it, they feel like deeper voice, and you're like, because it's also, everything is important when you speak the language, like
Right.
the manner you say it, like
Mhm.
how loud you say it, how confident you say it. So yeah,
And it's nothing like what you heard in your German book, right? The audio, the
right.
sound is
It's like another world.
okay. That was good. When you're learning German, you do a lot of things like listening to probably Target show or reading some books or reading German grammar books and maybe listening to news. Basically, what I meant to say is you do a lot of activities, right, when you start. But do you think that a person who's learning the language have to prioritize something in the beginning?
Yeah, sure. So I think here, so the structure is very important. That's why you need a teacher, especially in the beginning.
Mhm.
Um, I think I'm learning Spanish and Hebrew right now,
Mm.
and I think so. I am a teacher, so I usually I do know how to learn the language, but the thing is that when you're learning the language, every language is different, specific. So, and I think it's better to use an expert for that, who knows the structure. How, for example, what you should use in like learning this language, what should you should use the other language, and it's very important because when you learn a lot of stuff in the beginning, you get frustrated very easily and very fast. And when because you're like absorbing a lot of things and you feel you're doing nothing.
Mhm.
So it depends, like if the person starts to learn by themselves or with a teacher, because when you do it with a teacher, definitely teacher will provide you and will give you like direction where to go and what to do. But when you're doing it by yourself, you definitely like I think first you should use a book for that. It's hard, so I just wanted to recommend any of books, and then I understood that it's hard because when I teach, like the book is like fundamental. I use
Mhm.
the book,
Yeah.
but I give a lot of my materials because some like I did not. I did not find a book that is structured as I teach German, you know? That's why I'm doing a lot of my work. It's kind of hard to recommend here something when you are starting the language. But definitely, I think what you should prioritize, it's important to know what works the best for you, because we are very individual. And
Right.
if you know that, for example, like listening to the podcast, it's helpful, like do it. If you know that reading a book is helpful, do that. But it's also important, it's a very important thing to do or to listen to the stuff or to read the stuff you are interested in. Because when I learned Polish, it was easy, like it was kind of a little bit easier because it's very similar to Ukrainian. But I started to learn Polish. I'm Catholic, and in Catholic Church, I wanted to know more about Catholic saints, and we had a lot of books. We didn't have a lot of books in Ukrainian, but we had a lot of in Polish, and I just started to read. And because it was a topic I was interested in, it was something that I really loved, and it was also there were definitions I already like knew. It was easier for me to read about it in the foreign language. Yeah.
I like this advice. I mean, go with what you like, right? The material also. So that
Yeah.
also helps to improve fast.
What you what you enjoy and like.
Yeah. So it doesn't make you also frustrated. For example, like what did you do, guys? For example, you can also share your experience with it.
For me, I had a German friend who suggested a podcast called Almost Daily on Spotify. So he said that there people talking more naturally because when you're learning German, you you don't talk too much or you don't have so many friends, so you don't hear naturally how they are speaking, right?
Right.
So in this podcast, almost daily, they were like two guys talking about different things, and it was quite helpful because that was like the most natural setting that I could listen to.
Yeah.
So that is something that I love. Apart from that, recently or from past couple of years, I also read this Deutsch Perfect. It's a
I just
magazine.
wanted to say it. I just was about to say it, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's also good. They have like structured into what they say, Mittel, Einfach, and Schwer, different levels, right, to
Yeah.
read. But yeah, that's a lot to read as well. Sometimes it's overwhelming. And I also got Reader's Digest. It's also a magazine. It's also there for like English, and so there was one equivalent to German. So I was also getting that for some time. But yeah,
Recently, we are listening to news,
yeah, Tagesschau actually.
Tagesschau.
Hmm.
So,
I mean,
It's
this
a
is
high level.
no,
we
so
should mention that they have the easier version, like, I mean, um, beginner version kind of.
right. So what we do is we don't listen to the whole Tagesschau 20 minutes. In the
Yeah.
morning, we listen to Tagesschau in 100 Sekunden. That is the fast way to get the news of the day. And that one is really fast, okay? You don't understand the whole thing. Tagesschau also introduced Tagesschau in einfacher Sprache. So they tell the news every day in a easy,
Easier.
understandable German, and they also slow down, so it's not fast, and they also give you some context. So it was
Yeah.
very easy to understand. Even Shilpa started
Yeah, for me that has
understanding.
become a habit now. Like morning, every
Yeah.
time when we have our breakfast, we play that. And obviously when it's the news, it goes over my head. But when it's in the easy language, when it's made slow down, we understand it. Like, and then there are some words which I still miss out, and it's very new for me. And then he explains me, this is this, this is this. Okay, in that way we get to
Yeah.
understand the news, what's happening. Some
Yeah.
German learning also happens.
Yeah.
So that's what I am doing now recently, which
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah, so it's like that. But it's important what you said to make it as a habit, right? So
yeah.
you do it every day. I had the same with Deutsch Perfect.
Okay.
I remember like every day after I woke up before breakfast, I read out loud 10 minutes from Deutsch Perfect.
nice.
Just because you practice your pronunciation, how you how you are talking, the way you are doing it, right? And also you're learning your words, and it's important to wake up your, you know,
And
vocals.
the vocals and everything. Yeah.
amazing. And do you listen to some material nowadays for your German? What do
Yeah,
you
sure.
listen to?
I do like I because I'm a teacher, and when I give as a homework videos from Easy German, I listen to these videos definitely. I listen a lot of psychological stuff. I love psychology, and that's why I listen a lot about psychological stuff, and I'm volunteering with kids who have, like, every one of us has trauma, right? And I started to listen more about trauma, and I'm also listening to it in German. So it's more about what I do right now, and I do listen to to music. I told about Tagesschau, but there is. Have you ever heard of Deutsche Welle?
The,
So they have langsam gesprochene Nachrichten.
right, right.
So you could actually use it because
Use it also.
they talk very langsam. Yeah, but it was very helpful for me when I was learning German in the
That is,
beginning.
yeah, that is important. And I guess they also have exercises after the
Yeah,
news,
Yeah.
right? So that you can
yeah.
you understand it better. That's a good one.
But also you can, sorry, yeah, you can. I just wanted to say that also you can watch the movies you already watched, like in your language, or you know perfectly. Home Alone, for example, like
Yeah.
every year you watch it, so you can watch it in German, right? And it would
Yes.
be easier to understand a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great. Um,
Okay.
so, Karina, you mentioned that you have lived in Bavaria and you've fallen in love with that place. So, was there any cultural habit that you felt surprising at the beginning when you lived in Bavaria?
So the first one I came to Bavaria. Okay, so we should like mention it that Bavaria is very traditional, and they definitely have a lot of cultural habits. For example, they wear their traditional clothes on Sunday to church. You can see all the people, like women, wearing dirndl.
Dindal and
It's
Lederhausen, right?
Lederhose for men. So yeah, and actually, it's kind of you see it. It's very common for them. It's what you see. And what I also remember, because I lived also in a small, I studied and lived in a small town, Eichstätt. It's near Ingolstadt. Ingolstadt is the heart of Audi. So Audi is produced in Ingolstadt, and Ingolstadt is close to München. Munich. We all know Munich, right? So, and I lived in this like small town, and I remember my first day in Bavaria in this town. I went to the university. It was in the morning. I just arrived. I went to the university just to say, hi, I'm here. I arrived. And I remember on my way, the first person I met told me, Grüß Gott. I'm like, hello. I didn't like, I was not expecting that. They are very like, they are very open there. And I loved in Eichstätt where I lived. It's actually, you can meet it probably everywhere in small like towns, villages, that people greet each other. And that's what I really loved. And I think also that they drink beer, and it's really, they have a lot of beer garden, and like it's very normal for them. Like, they know how to chill. And I also saw a lot of old people, especially, for example, grandmother. My grandmother, she's already like, she has a lot of illnesses. She's like, she, because in Ukraine people work hard, they don't like have a lot of opportunities, to chill or to explore the world or to go out. They don't know how to do that. Now we are maybe probably learning it. But when I saw it in Bavaria, like I was just passing by a beer garden, and I saw two grand Großmütter, and they were like sitting, drinking beer. I was like, that's the life I want to, like, when I'm already a grandma.
That's one thing even what I have seen
Right.
here, and like it's quite surprising for us because even back home for us also it's not that way. Like as you mentioned, like when they are women's, especially when they are in their late 50s or early 50s itself, like, they are kind of like done and very tired, and, they're not motivated to do much outside their regular daily life work and
Right.
things. When we come and see people here who are chilling, enjoying, still having that enthusiasm for any adventure also sometimes, yeah. So
Right.
that's really
Yeah.
different.
I did not.
At like, in Germany, we can see the importance of enjoying the life. So
Mhm.
I think a lot
Yeah.
of people uh, in all in all the ages they enjoy their life. It doesn't matter
Right.
like young or old, they do have their own way of enjoying, and I believe that is really important for anyone, right?
Yeah, it is because I think maybe we have something in common in our culture. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, Ukrainian, and you're from India,
Right.
Yeah.
right? In Indian culture. So that people like dedicated their lives, our parents, grandparents, they dedicated their lives for children and grandchildren.
Right.
Yeah.
They surely did it here also, like here in the US or in Europe, for example. They all also do it, but probably they started to learn how to love yourself, to also to be for yourself earlier than we did. I think so. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you because we are talking about Bavaria, but where do you guys live? Which like kind of culture shocks do you have? Any dialects you hear in your environment?
So we are in Rhineland-Pfalz. So in this region, we don't have like not people doesn't use the accent, strong accent
They
outside.
do have
Yes,
some.
but I have hard time talking to my neighbor. She speaks with strong Pfälzisch. They call it Pfälzisch,
Yeah.
Pfälzisch accent,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm like bitter, and then she gives a smile or she laughs about it and then tries to explain that one more time in a simple.
Initially, when he
Yeah.
used to
Uh,
speak to the neighbor, and I was like, okay, he doesn't know German. He's asking again, bitte, why he knows because for me both are same. I don't initially I wouldn't understand
Yeah.
even the normal German. You know,
uh,
like
Yeah.
he lied to me that he knows German.
Yeah. And do you have any like cultural shocks? I don't know in that area.
Cultural shock. Yeah,
Not
I mean,
shocks, maybe. Like, it sounds
But
like
one
cultural
thing,
shocks.
one thing which we felt was, especially this area, Germany, I believe, like, is normally so silent compared to like Berlin or Munich, maybe. But the other regions are like, even if you go to the inside cities or many other cities, it's silent. Okay, like after 6 o'clock, like everything like shutdowns, right? It's like a
Yeah.
winding up ritual kind of thing. But in India, you always have this high energy, like somebody's playing music and somebody is like, loud. So you're always like, you.
Yeah.
frustrating
Yeah,
also, like
sometimes it's
when,
frustrating
see,
because of
suppose
this.
you are doing something like say studying or something and your neighbor plays loud noise, yeah, then there are conflicts. But even if
Yeah.
you match that energy, then it's okay, then it's like, yeah, it goes good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me
But
also it's more about like it's not shock, but few things which I cultural differences are there, which I feel is good, and I would really like to have it at home also. If it would be this way, it would be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say um, about this Sunday, the off Sundays and things.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have that, your me time and the family time, which is very
Right.
rare in India.
Mhm. Yeah, I also loved it in Germany, but also because like I studied in Poland, and I lived like a couple of years in Poland, so I was used to it, and I really loved it because you always feel that it's side time for your family,
Yeah.
right, and for your friends, so it's you can always feel it in the air already that people are taking rest. Yeah. We have this area. Sometimes people say that German people are geschlossen. Yeah, they are not that open. But I have different experience. Like I met like really very open and amazing German people, but it's my experience. There are definitely some people who are like geschlossen and they are not that, like we are, hi.
But
But
I
it's
think that's everywhere, right? Not, I mean, it's not very specific to Germans, I feel like, because as you mentioned, even I have met few people who are really very nice here, and then there is the other opposite side also.
right, right. It's very individual, just your
Mhm.
old people, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Could, in Germany, Germans are known to express honest views and being direct in their communication. So, for a beginner, where do they spot a line between directness and rudeness? Or did you feel like they were rude when you first came to Germany?
So for me, I never experienced it.
Hmm.
I don't know because as we said, it's very individual. A lot of stuff in like life, it's very individual, and it also depends on what kind of person you are, because you can be sensitive. You can be also in a period of life when you are like just when every word for you is very intense and rude. So it's, I think, what in general I'm learning actually, and what we should learn, it's just to like to understand that what if someone sounds rude to us, we should understand that what that person is saying, it's not like about me or to me, it's about her and what the situation she is right now in. So just try to divide it, because we are like, I think the problem often is that we are taking things too deep and too close to our heart, and they were not like to us. But with, I think, with Germans it depends, because we are also, I think we have very a lot common, we have very common stuff in our culture. We are very, we are more, like active, open, we love party, like traditional stuff, but it's also, German also do love it, but I think because they are used to this kind of order structure, it makes them different from us. I think, for example, me, I am individually, I am very chaotic, and being a teacher learned me a lot, and actually being a German teacher learned me a lot of, being structured, have this, that, to be pünktlich, yeah. But I definitely love it about them, that they are not like talking a lot, giving this, a lot of pretty words, they are like coming to the point right now. And that's what, for example, I love it, because when I started to live here in the US, what I mentioned, I love people here. Like really, my experience is amazing, and I met amazing people. For me, they have a lot of small talks here. You just in the supermarket, you have always a small talk with someone. Someone starts to talk to you, and sometimes for me in the beginning it was like they are so like like it's a theater. They like, oh hi, how are you doing? Like, and it's, I understood that it's a part of their culture,
Right.
and I started to do the same, but not because I just want to be nice, but it's like I kind of liked it, and it is this beautiful part in me that wants to like to interact with people, right?
Right.
So it just how I understood that this society opened in me this beautiful part of me, which is very talkative, as you can hear it. Yeah, and maybe also when I was in Germany, like this German, someone would say rudeness or being like direct, open in me also this part of Carina, who can be also direct and
Hands-on.
structured. So I did not take it as rudeness. It just, yeah.
Just activated a new skill level in you, right? Just got
Right,
upgrade.
because you're always like, I think we immigrants, we know a lot about your mental development, because you get to know a lot of people, a lot of new cultures, and you're like discovering a lot of parts in yourself and in other people, and it makes you very like sensitive and you are starting understand people more, I would say. And that's why you're like, oh, okay, it's a part of their culture. Okay,
Mm.
let's live like that.
So, one more thing
Good.
is like social life when it comes to living in Germany. It's one thing which is difficult to many people, like international people who are in Germany. So, is there some hidden rule what someone can follow, hidden rule within the social life, like which an international person can follow so that their social life would be way easier or make it a little easier?
So as we talked already that it's important to listen to the stuff or to read to the stuff you're interested in. I think the same when you are looking for friends or people you can interact with. Because for me it was not hard because as I told I'm Catholic and everywhere I'm looking for Catholic church community in there. So I always found like people who have the same values or interests as me. So, and I told always my students, because I always ask my students, do you have like people you can talk to in German? You can practice your German? Do you have like friends? And it's important just to look for different workshops. You like, for example, I'm also a runner, and here in Boston, it's a running culture. They have a lot of people who run, they have a lot of running clubs. And I know that it's also developing all over the world. And in Germany, my friend from Berlin, so she is Ukrainian, she lives in Berlin, and she found a running club. So she goes out with those people and she has a chance to talk in English. I'm joking. Also in German with them, because a lot of when you meet a lot of international people, you start to talk to them in English. But try to find someone who speaks German and also tell them, I'm learning German and it's important to me that you speak German to me and I speak German to you, and correct me when I'm talking. I have the same with English. Even if my English is good and I feel like pretty comfortable in it, I ask people all the time, please correct me. Everyone who I talk to, I ask, please correct me if I said it wrong. Because for me, for example, it's important that I say it right, but you don't always need it. Sometimes you can just like talk and like activate everything you already learned and to build this confidence level you need, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something
So,
to keep in mind.
Yeah. So there is a page, it's called Meetup. Have you ever heard of it?
The
Yeah.
app, right? Meetup.
The app or the website. So
Yes.
that's how I found a lot of events here. So I had a chance to meet new people and to talk to them in English also.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I was part of one meetup group in Germany. I do the sketch notes. Sketch notes is like drawing. It's a kind of drawing, short.
Yeah, yeah.
So I found this sketch note group, and we meet every once in a month, the first Thursday of every month, online on Zoom.
Yeah.
They talk about different topics, and we draw together everything in German.
Yay. Wow, you see? It's cool. So you're already doing a lot, even it's months.
The rapid fire question goes like this. The first one: what are three must things that an international must try during Christmas?
In Germany, you mean?
Yes.
Glühwein, Stollen, and beer.
What is the second one? Stollen.
stolen.
Stollen.
It's
Do
the
you know
cake.
what Stollen is?
It's the
It's
cake, right?
Kuchen. Yeah, Kuchen.
Okay.
It's a Christmas Kuchen. Like, yeah, it's called Stollen. You
Last
can
week,
find,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, I just want to say you can find it at Christmas
Smart.
auf dem Weihnachtsmarkt in German.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I'm talking to you, and I understand how I miss Germany. Wow, really, I miss it so much. Yeah, so you can try it out. Maybe it's probably better to try it auf dem Weihnachtsmarkt
Okay.
than in the supermarket, because supermarket is very, like, I mean, they do it like it's very fabric. I don't know how to
Yeah.
say,
Okay.
but auf dem vielleicht I'm not sure. Auf dem Weihnachtsmarkt you can find it maybe handmade, like homemade.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. I'll try. Thanks.
So, what's one German food that you had and it felt like, okay, interesting. It's gonna be there for rest of my life.
It's Käsespätzle. It's actually Bavarian. It's Bavarian,
Okay.
and they have it in Austria. Yeah, it's
Do you
kind of
do you
teig
get it?
dough.
Yeah, yeah, we know. Käse
Yeah, you
Spätzle
know.
is very interesting. You also get in supermarkets. Do you also get this in US?
So I tried it here, and they called it in one restaurant I was to. They called it actually also Käse Spätzle, and they explained what it means. But the thing is that it was
Didn't
definitely not the same. And
same,
the
right?
food and the food in the US, I really now like I love you. I love the US. I
Hmm.
love because I live in Boston. It's very
Hmm.
European. I love the people I meet here, but the food here, we cook a lot at home, and
Hmm.
we have a chance to buy Ukrainian food also. But the food here, when you go to the restaurant, you're like overpaying because
Hmm.
the quality of food is, I don't know. Sorry,
Okay.
American, but it's true.
Next one. What everyday German phrase do you catch yourself using a lot? For example, people say like Mahlzeit, Quatsch, Krass, right? So do
I
you
always
have
said,
any?
I always said genau,
Genau.
genau. I also, I noticed that my student also started to say it all the time. Like I'm talking to her, telling her something, and she's like, "Mhm, genau, genau."
Okay, genau.
Yeah, genau.
Okay. So, what's one habit that you started after, like, say, after you have been in Germany, and that actually first you thought it's strange, but later it improved your life or living?
What I learned is like what is like specific German thing, not
Yeah.
my
Yeah, a habit, basically.
habit. So
Or yeah, if you don't have a habit, then any
yeah,
specific German thing.
yeah. But I'm still learning it to be punctual, pünktlich. What I am not. It's very hard for me, and really, it's my problem. But what I took, and I'm still learning to do it. But I love it. I do love it.
Okay.
But I am not the type of person. That's why it takes a while to learn to be pünktlich.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
totally relatable. It's not an easy thing to be
Yeah, right.
Punktlich, right? To be
Yeah,
punctual.
right.
The last one. What is your ultimate go-to German song or singer? Ultimate go-to. If you open Spotify, what German song or a singer would you like to play?
Yeah. So I think it would be Mark Foster. Do you know him?
Yes, he lives actually near, I guess, in Winweiler. It's not so far.
So you see, so I because what comes like the song that comes to my mind is I hope it's his song. I think it's 100
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Italian like I'm not sure. It's he's saying that und du musst jedes davon sehen, and you should like see like each of them.
And that's your
So
favorite?
it was always my favorite, definitely.
Hmm.
Like because I love it, and also Leben von someone I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's I said it right. It's called 194 Länder von Mark Forster. So yeah, I listen to a lot of actually songs.
Hmm.
And I think now what is very I don't know if it's popular in Germany or no, but I love there is a song called Fernweh.
Okay.
Fernweh is a special word when you
Miss,
have yeah
right.
when you're
Miss your home
missing
country feeling, right?
it's yeah it's actually Fernweh. It's when you're missing like a foreign plane, a plane you
Hmm.
want to travel to. Yeah, so you're missing this time of traveling,
Hmm.
and it's the name of the song. And I think it's in this song they sing Lauf Forest Lauf bis ans Ende dieser Welt, Lauf Forest Lauf Lauf. Do you know like Run Forest Run? It's the name of the famous movie,
At the
and in
forest,
German
no.
it's Forrest Gump. And they say run for she said the girl there she said run Forrest run,
Right,
and
right.
there are words in this song love Forrest love in
Oh,
German
Oh,
really?
okay.
Oh,
till
okay.
the end of this world bis ans Ende dieser Welt. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good to know.
Okay, good. So, with that, I think that's the end of the rapid fire. We are done with the rapid fire. Now move to the Pommes question. Okay. So,
Yeah.
what's your ideal
Ideal.
Pommes moment? Like, when do you love to eat Pommes?
So it's interesting because I did not eat it that in Germany because for me pommes I ate it in McDonald's in Poland, so I did not have this like
Oh,
because I knew that there is so much fat
oil.
inside oil. I That's why I'm like,
Okay, then I
yeah,
probably should have asked you another question
yeah.
for the Pommes question. So, what was your replacement for Pommes during your time in Germany? Like, if you didn't prefer to have Pommes more.
Käsespätzle.
Yeah.
And you, yeah, sorry, can I ask you questions? Sorry for interrupting. I just want like that you also tell me something. So,
Okay.
like you called your channel, it's Pommes Box.
Pommes box.
So yeah, and you just asked me about
Right.
pommes. So I'm interested, like, do you like pommes, and what is the history behind it? Why did you call your channel like that?
Okay, the philology, right? The
Yeah, yeah,
history
yeah, yeah.
behind. So, right, the Pommes, we used to go to a donor shop nearby, and we used to
Donut
have
box.
this, yeah, donor box. It's actually called donor box, but it comes with a lot of pommes, and we liked it very much. And I thought, and we are also see a lot of Germans going to the donor shop, right, donor garden, and
Yeah,
having a donor box or a donors. So I thought like this is, and everybody loves pommes. So I thought,
yeah,
okay, this
yes.
would be a nice thing because everybody loves pommes. So this
It's
is going to be
also
a
a German thing,
German
so
thing.
yeah, why not?
So it will be
Yeah,
relatable and people can enjoy it and brings good vibe,
Why?
even though it's not healthy, but it brings
yeah,
good
yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So you see, I didn't know. I was actually curious. Why is Pommes Box? Because always when you see the name of the page,
Yes,
like what people create, there is always a story behind, and it's
definitely.
usually very interesting, as you see.
Thanks
Yeah.
for
So thank you.
asking.
Yeah,
We were trying to, like, what might suit. We didn't want to put something with the language, and main thing was like our podcast covers everything. We want to speak about language, the culture, and people here, the lifestyle here, and things like that. So we sticked on something which unites people a lot. That's the food.
right, right. It's true. It's definitely true. And when you hear pommes, you already like have association, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool,
Your mouth
cool.
starts to
Thank you.
water.
Yeah,
Amazing. Thank you very much, Karina, from both of
thank.
us, for taking our time and to be part of
Yeah,
this podcast. We
yeah,
discussed a lot of things and you shared a lot of insights, very valuable insights.
yeah. Thank you, thank you, Sachin and Shilpa, right? Sachin.
Right.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. You are like, I support you in it, and I hope you can have more guests, and a lot of people will have a chance to get to know you and also to watch your videos because it's really very chilling, very uniting. And thank you for inviting me, for being a part of that.
Thank you so
Pleasure.
much. Our pleasure.
Thank you.